What if Deku joined Team JPDE? Chapter 39. Champions 3 Flavors of Hot Men. Thursday. Day 116. Before heading to class, Deku had received a text from Neo. "Hey. How's it going, bestie?" Neo texted. "Good, thanks, but I'm your bestie." "I don't want to know how you treat your enemies," then Deku texted. "Indeed, you don't. And I don't have any other candidates, anyway," Neo texted. "Well, I guess I'm honored, then." "How's it going?" Deku texted. "He guesses, grr. And I'm actually going back to Vale for a job soon," Neo texted. "No time to relax," then Deku texted. "Not this time, huff. I wanted to go dancing," Neo texted. "Okay, see you never," Deku texted. The bell then rang. Deku put his scroll away and headed to class. After class had ended and all the students had left, Glinda began to inform Team Jade and Co about the maidens. "The maidens of legend, from the fable. They actually exist," Glinda said. "You mean that we met a legend?" David asked. "Yes," Glinda said. "She seemed pretty real to me. She saved our bacon," Evelyn said. "That's what maidens are known to do. They travel, help who they can. Although, they usually try and do it covertly. They don't join battles and don't usually stick around to introduce themselves," Glinda said. "Because if maidens exist, then that means magic exists too," Penny said. "And you can realize how that'd be a shock to the general populace. Which is why I need you keep all this to yourselves, children," Glinda said. "We understand. But Glinda, considering how particular of a location Peak is, we run the risk of running into her again." "What should we do if that happens?" Peach asked. "Well, she's been amicable so far. So unless she suddenly becomes hostile, I'd say you can accept her help. Maybe ask her what she's doing in Peak to begin with," Glinda said. "But is she dangerous? What else can you tell us about her?" Jack asked. "Not much. We do know that maidens are powerful, but there's not much else I can share," Glinda said. "That's just great. Hopefully she doesn't turn us into frogs or whatever," Titania said. "Miss Goodwitch, I have to ask, how do you know that magic is real, if it's not common knowledge?" Deku asked. "I can't share all the specifics, but I'm sure Evelyn and Jack can testify to the fact that Headmaster Ozpin does more than just oversee this academy. Magical activity is one of the areas he has taken upon himself to oversee," Glinda said. "I see. Then what about the young girl?" Penny asked. "Unfortunately, we have no knowledge of such a being. So I'd be grateful if you could share any intel about her upon successive encounters," Glinda said. "I see. Is that all you can share?" Peach asked. "Right at this moment. Yes," Glinda said. "I see. Children, go on ahead. I will catch up with you later," Peach said. "Sure, Professor Peach," David said. "Thanks for the intel, Professor Goodwitch," Jack said. Team JPDE and Titania then left the classroom. "Now, what else is there?" Peach asked. Glinda remained silent. "Glinda, you did not react to the word maiden when we spoke. You reacted to the name Amber. You know this girl?" Peach said. "I do. And her being in Peak makes no sense," Glinda said. Team JPDE and Titania had gone to their dorm room. Truths mixed with half-truths. And one big lie. The one time she was lying through her teeth was when she said she had no knowledge of such a being, Evelyn said. "You mean when we were talking about Janara?" Jack asked. "But that means," Titania said, "that she does indeed have knowledge of such a being," Deku said. "But then, Janara is not a creation of the boss?" Penny asked. "Not necessarily," David said. "What do you mean?" partner Kark asked. Remember that Ozpin knew nothing about me. And whatever I am, it's tied to Peak, the mystery behind it and the thing in it. There's no reason to believe they know anything about Janra either, David said. But she was lying when asked, Evelyn said. She lied about have knowledge of such a being, not Janra herself. And it got me thinking. Titania, you were born by copying Mercury Black, remember, David asked. Don't remind me. Been trying to suppress most of his memories from day one, Titania said. Point is, maybe you and Janra are similar in that aspect, David said. She's someone else's copy, Penny said. So Izuku's theory is confirmed, Evelyn said. Being a copy of someone, yes, but of who, no. I think Miss Goodwitch knows about the person who or being Jura was inspired by. That means that whoever they are, they aren't a maiden, and they actually look like a Grim, Deku said. That's awfully specific though. Titania was a fluke, she might have copied anyone at all. But if the theory is true, Janra was made and tailored to one person. The question then becomes, why, Jack asked. Maybe. That's also similar to my situation, Titania said. What do you mean, Evelyn asked. I spoke about this with Peach, before. I don't know much about the how or when, but I have a feeling that my existence was because this flame thing wanted to show someone up. Maybe it's the same thing, Titania said. How and who do you show up by making a? Well, a human being and a magic user, Evelyn said. Your guess is as good as mine on that one, Titania said. And I'm afraid I can't be of much help on that front either, Amber said. Amber. Was Professor Peach able to extract more information out of Miss Goodwitch, Penny asked. Yes and no. Professor Goodwitch admitted to knowing me personally, Amber said. She what, David asked. Apparently, the maiden Amber was under her group's protection. But they failed in keeping me safe from harm. She wasn't willing to share who harmed me or what they were trying to protect me from. But according to her, my appearance anywhere at the current time is impossible. So she fears this is a setup by someone. A setup she warned Professor Peach about despite Headmaster Ozpin's wishes, Amber said. Asshole. He and his secrets, Jack said. Well, we know it isn't a setup, anyway, David said. But if she's convinced of that, then maybe, Evelyn said. I don't feel dead, Amber said. And here I was trying to be not blunt about it, Evelyn said. Alright, so, let's just put together everything we know, Deku said. Amber was under Ozpin's protection, but it did her a fat lot of good, Jack said. She's not dead, but she's probably heavily injured, then Penny said. And her going around must be like, I don't know, an out-of-body experience. She's projecting her soul or something, Evelyn said. Oh. I believe that may be it. Yes, it was instinctual. I didn't know I could do that, Amber said. Alright, but if she's still technically alive, I don't think she should be able to skip the country. Get that far out of the body. I mean, aura dissipates if it gets too far from the host body, exception made for certain semblances, no, Titania said. That makes sense. But I believe magical power is different. I don't remember why or how, exactly. But I feel it is so, Amber said. Oh. My gods, David said. David. What is it, Deku asked. When I first met Amber, she didn't know she was in the real world. She didn't know that the amphitheater wasn't all there was. She didn't know she could move so. She never tried, and her magic power wasn't as strong as it is now. That means that where she was must have been, where she first appeared. I think it was close, David said. Wait. You don't mean, Amber said. It's the only explanation I can think of, David said. Son of a bitch, Titania said. Amber, your real body is somewhere in the school, David said. Deku was in thinking about his encounter with Pythia, and then he realized that he hadn't told the others about it. Hey, David. I had a pretty weird encounter a few days ago, Deku said. Weird how? David asked. Well, imagine Pyra. But with an accent and some attitude. Also, glasses, Deku said. That's an amusing image. So you met like a sosia of her or something, David asked. Yeah. She was intense. I mistook her for Pyra at first and she got so peeved I thought she'd bite me, Deku said. I guess it happens so often that she got tired of it, David laughed. That was the impression I got, yeah. She's new in Vale, Deku said. And I bet you got toped into showing her around as an apology, David said. Yeah. Although, she hasn't contacted me since then, so maybe she, Deku said, interrupted by his scroll going off. 10 Leonits her, David said. There's no way I'm taking that bet, Deku said. Deku then answered his scroll. Good afternoon, Pythia, Deku said. Heya, Ijuku. How have you been, Pythia asked. Good, thanks. What about you, Deku asked. Good, good, but you know how it is with moving. Things to unpack, stuff to sign. But I'm finally unburdened. Time to hit the town, Pythia said. Sounds good. I'll see you at the same place as last time, Deku asked. You know it. Don't be late, Pythia said. Pythia then hung up. That is an accent, David said. I know, right? If it wasn't for the accent, I would be believing she was actually Pyra in disguise, Deku said. But why would Pyra want to do that, David asked. Well, she is famous. Being in disguise would allow her to do things she can't as Pyra, Deku said. I guess so. Tell me how your date goes, she sounds fun, David said. Yeah, sure. Tell the girls what you believe in, Deku sarcastically said, before leaving for Vale. Deku soon arrived in Vale and headed to where he first met Pythia. Once he arrived, he looked around for the tall redhead. Heya, Ijuku. Over here. Took you long enough, Pythia said. Huh? Am I late, Deku asked. Nah. It's just me who was early, Pythia said. Why were you early, Deku asked. Because after 3 days of doing nothing but unpacking, I can't wait to have fun, darn it. First thing I wanna do is grab myself one of those giant ice creams in the glasses with straws and stuff, Pythia said. You mean a parfait, Deku asked. Yeah. Where can we get one, Pythia asked. I know just the place, Deku said. Pythia and Deku then went to a cafe. Ah. So Yumi. I can't believe this kind of stuff is so cheap to get in the city. This is delicious, Pythia said. I'm happy you like it. I suggested it because a friend seemed to really like it, Deku said. Hey, was it friend Pyra, by any chance, Pythia asked. Actually, yes. And I do know here, I'm not lying, Deku said. Would be the first time someone had a good reason to mistake me for her. So, what is it like? Being friends with a celebrity, Pythia asked. I wouldn't know. I don't really see her as one, you know, Deku said. What? But she is, Pythia said. I mean, I know she's supposed to be a big deal, the student populace has made that quite clear, but I never really cared that she's famous, Deku said. You don't care, Pythia asked. No. Not in a callous way, of course. But Deku said. Take your time. I'm not going anywhere till this whole thing disappears down my gullet, Pythia said. When I first met you, I thought you were Pyra in disguise, Deku said. Don't remind me. You're not the first nor the last fella to do it, I assure you, Pythia said. And I apologize for that. It's just that I thought Pyra would want to be someone else, even just for a short while, to escape from the famous side of her, Deku said. Pythia said. She obviously takes a lot of pride in her accomplishments and strength, but the invincible girl shtick probably inevitably colors every aspect of her life. Even her closest friends can't help but bring it up. Good-naturedly, of course, but Deku said. Even then, I reckon it kinda makes her feel like that's the only part of her that matters, Pythia said. I think so too. To me, that's actually the part of her that matters the least, Deku said. But isn't that a big part of her, Pythia asked. Well, yeah, but it's not the part of her I hit up with, you know. It's not the Pyra the celebrity who I and my team helped with her love life. It was Pyra the insecure girl in love. My friend Pyra. Seeing her sad. Almost broken, last time we tried something. It hurt to watch, Deku said. So I guess it didn't work out with this guy, Pythia asked. I wish it was that. The guy doesn't even realize she likes him. He only has eyes for this other girl, and Deku said. Pyra hasn't told him, Pythia said. Yeah, because she doesn't want to screw up the relationship they already have. So she's stuck in limbo. She can't progress one way or the other, and I can see it hurts her. I'd like to see her get what she wants. Or at the very least I wish she could bear it all out, somewhat vent. She always keeps everything close to heart because she doesn't want to burden others. I wish she'd lean on my or someone else, Deku said. I see, Pythia said. Wow, I really killed the atmosphere. I'm sorry, Deku said. Oh, it's fine. I egged you on, didn't I, Pythia said. But still. Okay, next activity is on me, Deku said. Really, now? Then I want to go see that shooting gallery near the market. I'm gonna wipe em out, Pythia said. The two then left the cafe and headed to the shooting gallery. Oh, wow. You're really bad at shooting, Deku said. Shut up. I'm just used to moving targets, that's all. Next time, for sure. I swear, Pythia said. Knock yourself out. I'm not paying, next time, Deku said. That means I can keep all the prizes for myself, then. Lucky, Pythia said. Whatever you say. Anyway, I should head back, Deku said. I guess. Thanks for the company, Ijuku, Pythia said. It's been fun. Hit me up again whenever. Maybe next time I'll introduce you to my team, Deku said. But why not meet one of them now, David said. David. What are you doing here, Deku asked. Other than making my way to the bullhead landing, David asked. So, this is ye partner, David. I like him already, Pythia said. Oh wow, she really does look like Pyra, David said. Ye wanna say that again, Pythia asked. Definitely not, Pyra would never act like this, David said. Sorry to cut introductions short, but we need to get going, Deku said. It was nice to meet you, Pythia, David said. Likewise. Can't wait to meet the others, Pythia said. Deku and David then began to walk off. So, why are you in Vale, Deku asked. Emerald and I were, David said. Ijuku, Pythia said. Yes. What is it, Deku asked. I just wanted to say. I think Pyra knows that she can come you, the both of you, if she's come to you with her problems before. Maybe she just needs to be reminded, Pythia said. Maybe so. Thanks, Pythia, Deku said. It's fine. Now, scram, Pythia said. Deku and David then headed to the bullhead landing. Once they were out of sight, Pythia's face fell and she removed her glasses. In a dark alleyway on the other side of Vale. Don't give me that look, young lady. You owe me and you know it. I helped you salvage your one and on friendship, didn't I? Roman asked. Neo expressed how she could have done it on her own. No, I really doubt that you could have done it on your own. Your solution was to let it out on our business partners. So, you're now going to help me solve this little mess with our supply line, and that's final, Roman said. Neo stopped pouting. That's better. Now, do you remember the plan? Roman asked. Neo nodded. No witnesses. And that means so it when no one's looking. We do not need a trail of bodies, Roman said. Neo nodded. Very well. And do you remember the specifics for a good bait? Roman asked. Neo then transformed into a girl with black hair and emerald green eyes. Oh, wow. That's perfect. He'll fall for it hook, line and sinker. Great job, Roman said. Neo smiled. Do this properly and quickly and you may even have some time left to go spend time with your bestie, Roman said. Neo's then changed to one of anger. What? He's literally your only friend. What sis I say wrong? Roman asked. Neo's anger subsided, and pulled out her scroll. Why would I ever want to look at your scroll? I get enough of your demented behavior in real life, thank you very much, Roman said. Neo got anger again and then kicked Roman. Friday. Day 117. Their progress has been quicker than expected, Weza said. Must be because of that girl. Leave it to those 5 to just randomly chance upon a magic user, Howard said. Well, they do say that luck is also part of one's skills. I guess they must very skilled indeed, Weza said. Yeah. Point is, they found a way past the field, they found a way to avoid the effects of the pyre obsidian in the air and water, and our little guardian can't stop them. They may get to the mines before the boss is ready, Howard said. Oh, nonsense. You can leave that to me and Bella, I'll make sure to delay them just enough, Weza said. So it's just the two of you going in, this time, Howard asked. Indeed. That's going to be more than enough, since Bella is more than up to causing some property damage. Right, Bella, Weza asked. Right, Bella said. See. More than willing, Weza said. If you say so, Howard said. In the meanwhile, I'd like the 3 of you to do something else for me, Weza said. Pyra had called Deku to tell him that it was time for the photo shoot. Alright. I'm off to become famous, Deku said. Make sure you bring back some clothes from the photo shoot, Penny said. I don't think I'll be allowed to. And why do you want me to? Deku asked. Because we want a sneak peek. As your girlfriends we are entitled to see how hot and sexy you are, before the rest of the world, Evelyn said. It's not that type of photo shoot. We'll probably just be modeling for the latest fashion, Deku said. Still, we want to be the first ones to see how attractive you are, Penny said. Well, you won't be the first. Pyra will be, Deku said. Then you best make her your girlfriend, Evelyn said. Alright, I'm going, Deku said. Wait, Izuku, before you go. Did Pyra say whether she was ready or not? David asked. Why are you asking? You wanna peep on her, pervert? Evelyn asked. David, if you want to watch a girl change, you can just ask us, Penny said. What? No. I mean if she's waiting for him, David said. She said she'll meet me at the Bullhead Landing. So, I assume she's still getting ready, Deku said. Okay. You don't mind waiting a bit longer? David asked. Not at all. We still have plenty of time before the photo shoot starts, Deku said. Okay. I'll try not to keep her too long, David said. Keep her as long as you need, Deku said. Deku and David then left the room. What? What was that about? Penny asked. I'm sure we will find out eventually. Just try not to think about the innuendo they accidentally said, Jack said. Deku was waiting for quite a while before Pyra arrived. Sorry I'm late, Pyra said. It's alright, Pyra. You never really set a time for us to meet at the Bullhead, Deku said. That may be true, but I did call you. Most people would assume it meant meet as quickly as possible, Pyra said. Well, I'm sure whatever delayed you was very important, Deku said. Yes. Yes, it was, Pyra said. So, shall we board the Bullhead, otherwise we're gonna be late, Deku said. Oh, yes, right away. I hate making people wait, Pyra said. The two then boarded the bullhead, not noticing that Jang had been watching them. The two then soon arrived at the studio. Wow, Deku said, as they entered the studio. Wow, indeed. A lot goes into these photo shoots, Pyra said. Ah, Miss Nikos, you're here. Is this your friend that you mentioned? Pyra's agent asked. Hello, Miss Argento. And yes, this is the friend I mentioned, Pyra said. It's nice to meet you, I'm Izuku Midori, Deku said. Short and cute. Could have sworn you liked tall blondes, Argento said, causing Deku and Pyra to blush. No. He's not my boyfriend. He's just a very good friend, Pyra said. Whatever you say. We're ready for the first shoot, follow me, Argento said. Sorry about her. She's always been one to ask about my love life, Pyra said. I see. Well, she does have your taste in men down, Deku said. Izuku, Pyra blushed. Deku laughed. Pyra and Deku then followed after Argento. So, what's the first shoot? Pyra asked. The first shoot of the day will be a hunter's pose. You'll both be in your hunter gear, though, Mr. Midori. May I ask what your weapon is? Argento asked. My weapons are my Iron Souls and my Air Force gauntlets. I can crush dust in them to give effects to my punches, and I can add effects to, Deku said, starting to ramble. Izuku, you're rambling, Pyra said. Oh, sorry, Deku said. It's fine, Pyra said. I'll leave it up to you to make a pose. Just make it dynamic, Argento said. Okay, Deku said. Pyra and Deku then entered the scene. It was a recreation of the Emerald Forest. Pyra posed with her back to the cameras, her face looking back, holding her weapon in its spear form. Deku lifted his right leg up in a position to kick and activated one for all. Multiple cameras then flashed, getting as many angles as possible. Alright. Change things up, Argento said. The two then changed poses and the camera flashed again. After a few more shots, the two were sent to change into different outfits. They wore things from the newest formal fashion to cosplaying as some famous fictional characters. Alright. We are now moving on to the final shoot. Your outfits are all ready for you and they're in the changing rooms, Argento said. Alright, Pyra said. Deku and Pyra then headed to the changing room. Have you been having fun? Pyra asked. Yeah, I have. I've had a great time helping you out, Deku said. That's great to hear, Pyra said. Hey, Pyra, there's something I need to tell you, Deku said. What is it? Pyra asked. Deku was about to speak, but then they saw what they would be wearing. Oh. So we're going a beach scene, Deku said. I'm so sorry, Izuku. I didn't know that we would be doing this. We can tell them that we aren't comfortable with this, Pyra said. No, it's fine, Pyra, I was just surprised. And you want Jang to be jealous, right? Deku asked. Yes, Pyra said. Then let's get changed, Deku said. The two then entered a changing room and put the swimwear on. Deku came out wearing green swim shorts. Izuku, Pyra said. Yeah, Pyra. What is it? Deku asked. Can you look at me when I come out? Pyra asked. Don't you want me to look away? Deku asked. No, Pyra said. But why do you? Deku said. Pyra came out of the changing room. She was wearing a modest red bikini, but it still showed a fair amount of skin. So what do you think? Pyra asked. You look stunning, Deku said. Thanks, Pyra said. The two stared at each other, taking in the sight of each other. Hey, are you two ready? We're waiting for you, Argento asked from outside the room. Oh, yes. We'll be out soon, Pyra said. The two looked at each other and they quickly looked away. They then left the changing room and headed to the set and were immediately put to work. They laid on the beach, splashed in the water, and played volleyball. They got many pictures of them, some more erotic than others. Alright. This will be the final shot. Izuku, would you please hold Pyrrha and lift her up, Agento said. Deku said. It's alright, Izuku. I'm okay with it, Pyrrha said. Okay, Deku said. Deku then lifted Pyrrha up and held her. Her chest was very close to his face, while his hands were holding onto her butt. That's perfect. Hold still, Agento said. As Pyrrha was being held, she felt something touch her. It only took her a short time to realize what it was. Deku saw her blush and then blushed, realizing that she was feeling it. After the photos were taken, Deku put Pyrrha down and the two headed back to the changing room, the two remaining silent as they walked. Hey, Pyrrha, about Deku said. It's alright, Izuku. I know you can't really control it. And, well, it makes me kind of happy you find me attractive, Pyrrha said. Pyrrha, everyone finds you attractive, Deku said. I know, but it was the first time I've ever felt, Pyrrha said. Pyrrha, I'm so sorry, Deku said. No. It's alright, really. You don't need to feel guiltily about anything, Pyrrha said. Well, at least let me treat you to something. We still have some time before the curfew, Deku said. I would like that, Pyrrha said. The two then got changed and left the studio. Hey, Pyrrha, Deku said. Yes, Izuku, Pyrrha asked. You know you can let anything that bothers you out. You don't need to repress yourself, Deku said. Not you too, Pyrrha said. I just wanted to make sure you listened, Deku said. I listened. Wait, how did you, Pyrrha asked. We both met a girl who told us to remind you that you can come to us with any of your problems. So please, next time you feel upset, angry, frustrated, and so on, you can come to us and we'll help you, Deku said. I will. Thank you, Pyrrha said. A while later the two returned to Beacon and went to their dorm rooms. I'm back, Pyrrha said. Welcome back, Pyrrha. You've been out all day. That must have been a long talk, Nora said. It wasn't that long, but it was long overdue. Almost had to hear it again from Izuku, Pyrrha said. From Izuku, Nora asked. Yeah, I spent most of the evening with him in Vale. He was going to tell me the exact same thing David did, Pyrrha said. Sounds important if they both said it, Nora said. It wasn't really a big deal, you know they worry about their friends a lot, Pyrrha said. They do indeed, Nora said. Anyways, I'm going to take a shower, Pyrrha said. Okay. By the way, I saw your new clothes in the wash. I think the style looks good on you, Nora said. Thanks, Pyrrha said. Although, what are the glasses for? They're not prescription, are they, Nora asked. Glasses, Pyrrha asked. Yeah, the glasses. Half moon, really big. I mean, I guess they suit you, but Nora said. Nora, I didn't buy any glasses, Pyrrha said. Are you sure, Nora asked. Positive. Heh, you're so silly sometimes. Okay, I'll see about that shower now, Pyrrha said. Okay. I could swear Nora said. As Pyrrha was having a shower, her mind began to wander. Oh, no, Pyrrha said. Pyrrha was thinking about the three dreamy boys in her life. What do I do now, Pyrrha asked. Sunday. Day 118. So. I'm going, Deku said. The hell, you're not, Evelyn yelled. Evelyn, Deku said. You are not going anywhere near her, Evelyn said. I agree with Evelyn, Penny said. But what other way is there to get up close and be able to touch her? We need to find out what Cinder did to her, so we can reverse if, Deku said. But what if it's not reversible, Evelyn asked. Well, for my sake. I hope it is. I hope so as well. I don't want you to go all through that for nothing, David said. David, you're in favor of this, Penny asked. I would say in favor, more like accepting what needs to be done, David said. How can you say that after what Bella Evelyn said? But that only happened because we needed information out of her. Deku is more than strong enough to end things if he doesn't like where things are going. Unlike me, David said. David, Penny said. Okay, enough. We're not talking about this anymore. Jack, you have the deciding vote, Deku said. Wait, what? Jack asked. I'm not going to delay this anymore. Jack, if you think this is a bad idea, then say so and I won't go, Deku said. You just had to put the pressure on me, Jack said. Jack was silent for a while before giving her answer. For Amber, Jack said. Evelyn and Penny began to cry. Don't worry. I'll be fine. And I promise to make it up to you too, Deku said. Deku then kissed the two and left the room. Ijuku, Amber said, appearing before him. I just wanted to tell you. I'm going to disconnect myself while you're in Cinder, Amber said. I see. Yes, I think it'd be best if you did that since I will have to be lovey-dovey with her for at least till lunch, Deku said. I know. So, good luck, I guess, Amber said. Amber then left. Yeah. I'm going to need it, Deku said. Outside of Cinder's dorm room. So, be back by 5 p.m. Emerald asked. That should be more than enough time, yes. I will be sure to warn you if I need an extension. Unless there's an emergency. You know the rules, Cinder said. Yes. You will not be disturbed for the rest of the morning and afternoon, Emerald said. Very well. Now, I have some preparations to make. Have fun, Cinder said. Cinder then entered her dorm room. Did that just really, actually happen, Mercury asked. Don't you even start, Emerald said. How can I not? She literally told us to get lost for the day because she needs the room to, Mercury said. Come along, already, Emerald said. Emerald then took Mercury away, and a while later Deku arrived and knocked on the door. You are punctual, Cinder said, answering the door. Hate to make them wait. Especially when I'm the one who called, Deku said. I approve. Come inside, then, Cinder said. Sure, Deku said. Meanwhile, Amber was out in the gardens. No, I said I would be disconnected. What if things go wrong, though? I mean, she needs them to do something for her. And she can't attract attention. But still, Amber said. Amber then decided to reconnect with Deku. Amber then moaned. No, Amber. Remember. He's doing this for you, Amber said. Amber then moaned again. Fuck. I can't take this anymore, Amber said. Back in Cinder's room. Cinder and Deku had been kissing and touching each other, each of them getting moans out of the other, though Cinder was getting significantly more moan out of Deku. She had now unzipped Deku's costume, down to the waist. You have a lot of scars, Cinder said. You don't like them, Deku asked. On the contrary. I like a man with scars. Makes him look mature, Cinder said, biting Deku's lip, drawing blood. You sure your pride allows a young man to be more mature than you, Deku asked. Careful, or I'll ruin what makes you a 10 out of 10, Cinder said, pushing him down on her bed. And what does make me a 10 out of 10, Deku asked. That cute face of yours. You are built to get girls smitten, Cinder said. Never pegged you for one to be smitten, but you're dripping like a fountain, Deku said. That could be taken. Huh. That's weird. It is uncharacteristically hot, Cinder said. Deku then noticed that Amber was behind Cinder casting fire magic. Deku then thought of something, but he needed things to keep going to find out. Thanks for the compliment, Deku said. You little, Cinder said, now straddling him. I'm gonna make you regret those words, Cinder said. Be sure to not pass out from heat stroke before you can, Deku said. Then I should remove my clothes to cool down. Or heat up, Cinder said, starting to strip. Amber grunted in anger again, but she then started to cry and left. Damn it, Amber, I needed you to stay, Deku thought. Cinder then kissed Deku and began to reach for his crotch. Afterwards Deku returned to his room and told the others what happened. I think the right thing to say in this case would be, well done, Penny said. No. Definitely not, Evelyn said. But he managed to get the job done, David said. Well yeah, but I was hoping he wouldn't have to fuck her. His dick is my property, Evelyn said. Carrots, his dick is not your property, Jack said. Thank you, Jack, Deku said. It's both yours and Penny's property, Jack said. Jack, Deku said. Evelyn sighed. I can live with what happened. Pat yourself on the back, I do. You managed to get close to her. Found out what you needed, Evelyn asked. No, Deku said. What do you mean, no? You got intimate with her. You touched, kissed and had sex with her, Amber said. Yeah. But unlike the other time, I didn't see anything. That made me wonder, what was the difference? The difference is, well, that you weren't connected to me. I'm only seeing visions from Cinder's mind because of the connection you provide between me and Cinder, Amber, Deku said. So? You mean that, Amber asked. Yes. I could only see what happened when you are connected. It's the reason why I egged Cinder on. I was hoping you would say so I could see more, but I understand why you left, Deku said. So it was all for nothing, Amber cried, before then leaving. Wait. No, it wasn't all for nothing. Damn it, Deku said. What do you mean? What else could you have learned, David asked. Well, while Cinder was out of it, I took the opportunity to snoop around, Deku said. But what could you have possibly found? I'm 100% sure Cinder would not be so careless, Penny said. You're right, but there's one thing she overlooked, Deku said. And what would that be, Jack asked. I checked her scroll, even though I knew it was going to be locked. What I did find was a W in the top right corner for her scroll. I suspect that her scroll has been hacked by an associate of hers and that's their insignia, Deku said. Did you manage to get a picture of it, David asked. No. By then Cinder started to stir and I quickly headed into the bathroom and washed up. Thankfully she didn't follow me in. After that I left. But I do remember what it looks like. It looked like someone's handwriting, and to me indicates that they are from Atlas, considering their high society and technological advances, Deku said. I'll have Papa compile a list to your description. Hopefully we'll be able to find out who they are, Penny said. I hope so too, Deku said. Enough about this for now. We can talk more about this later. Right now I want you to make things up to me, Evelyn said. Not right now, I'm not in the mood for sex. Maybe later, Deku said. Why do you think it's that, Evelyn asked. Because you, David said. Why don't you come shopping with me in Vale, Ijuku? We could buy next week's shopping, I'm sure that will get our mind off, Cinder Pen said. Shopping sounds nice. Evelyn can take her frustrations out of David, Deku said. Wait, what? David said. Deku then left the room, shortly followed by Penny. Let me grab a book, Jack said. Jack did so and left the room, leaving David to the mercy of Evelyn. Penny and Deku had been in Vale for a few hours and now they were almost done with the shopping list. That's 81% of the list, Penny said. Penny was carrying most of the shopping. Deku did try to carry more, but Penny wouldn't allow it. Deku did feel a bit embarrassed about it, especially with all the looks people were giving. Right. So, next we have to go grab the paper towels and napkins, Deku said. The shop should be right around, Penny said. Penny then saw a familiar figure. Penny, is there something wrong? Why did you suddenly fall silent, Deku asked. Sorry, Izuku. But I've just identified a priority target, Penny said. A target, Deku asked. Roman Torchwick, you dastardly dapper devil. We meet again, Penny said. Who in the actual? The laser ginger Roman said. Penny, who's this person, Deku asked. Roman Torchwick. Crime boss, scoundrel extraordinaire and one of Ruby Rose's nemesis, Penny said. Why are you talking like a pulp comic book, Roman asked. I call them as I see them, criminal scum. What are you up to, Penny asked. Nothing. And if you could please shut your trap, I'd be terribly grateful, Roman said. Hey. Don't you talk to Penny like that, Deku yelled. A new kid. What's your deal? Diamond nails. Earth-shattering vocals. Sentient fungal growths. Stop me if I get it right, Roman said. You shall never lay eyes on Izuku's semblance, for I shall apprehend you myself today, Penny said. All right, girl, seriously, I'm in the middle of something, right, Roman said. So you are up to no good. Justice shall not wait, Penny said. Or, come on. Shit, if this keeps up any longer, Roman said. Penny, before you apprehend Roman, at least put Deku said. Roman then bolted with Penny hot on his heels. Our shopping down, Deku said. Deku wasn't worried about Penny going after a supposedly high-profile criminal, he knew she could handle herself. His mind then began to wonder. Why would a crime boss be standing out in the open streets of Vale in broad daylight? To him it seemed like he was waiting for something or someone. Deku then looked in the direction Roman was looking. Heh, aren't you cute? It's fine, I understand what you mean, a man said. Deku then saw a girl with black hair and green eyes. I guess word was bound to spread sooner or later. Don't worry, Daddy will treat you right, the man said. Deku noticed that the girl didn't seem to be that into her partner as much as he is. He saw the surprise on the girl's face and realized that Roman should have been standing where he was now stood. The girl then began to cry. What's wrong? Come, now, the man said, dragging the girl away. Deku then decided to step in. Excuse me, sir. You dropped this, Deku said. What's your damage, pun, the man said. Deku then punched the man hard, knocking to the ground. You fucking, the man said. This way, hurry, Deku said. Deku then led the girl away, leaving the man in excruciating pain. Impossible. How could he escape, Penny asked. By murdering my self-esteem and putting my personal hygiene second, Roman thought. Oh. I wanted to see Ruby's face when I delivered his unconscious form in front of her door, Penny said. What am I, a trophy? Oh gods, this family is eating way too many greens, Roman thought. Oh, well. I guess I'd better go find Izuku and return to our schedule, Penny said. Penny then left, which meant Roman could now leave to dumpster he was hiding in. And I had just dry cleaned this coat. What a bust of a day. Let's hope at least Neo didn't go off the rails, Roman said. Deku had taken the girl to the market. There were too many guys skulking around, and they were cutting off routes to the police station. Deku could take the girl along the rooftops, but there was a possibility the mob boss had men looking from high vantage points. He could definitely easily beat them all, but there was a chance the girl could get hurt. She's so shaken from what happened she hasn't even talked yet. The girl was whimpering. Deku began to think of why Roman Torchwick involved this girl. Deku then came to the conclusion that she was bait. They would have to wait this out. Stay out of sight until they move and go block by block. Deku thought he should try and put her mind at ease. Even if she didn't want to talk, she could type. Deku pulled out his scroll and used a text app to write something in big letters. "Hi, my name is Ijuku. What's yours?" Deku typed. The girl smiles and grabs the scroll and writes down her reply. "I'm Mint. Thanks for helping me," Mr. Mint typed. "Oh, I'm not that old, I'm a student at Beacon. Anyway, you seem to be in a very bad situation," Deku typed. It was kind of scary, yes. I was supposed to draw that man somewhere, but I don't understand where Mr. Torchwick went," Mint typed. "Did he force you to do this?" Deku typed. "Mr. Torchwick. Oh, not at all, I was happy to help him," Mint typed. "Really? But isn't he a crime boss, too?" Deku asked. "Not just any crime boss. He's in control of Vale's underworld. He's the city's kingpin," Mint typed. "How did you get involved with someone like him, then?" Deku typed. "It's a long story, but let's just say that I owe him a lot, Mr. So, if I can help him in any way, I may fuss and pout a little, but in the end, he knows I got his back." Please don't tell him I said that." "Alright," Mint typed. Now with an understanding of who they were to each other, Deku decided he would let them go. Roman was Mint's hero, even if he was a criminal, but people can't always pick the good path. I promise. Still, if he's so big of a person, why did he have to come deal with? I guess a rude underling himself, Deku typed. Let's just say that most of his men are involved in a big operation right now. So he had to come deal with this himself. With my help. I just hope he's okay, Mint typed. Oh, I'm sure he's completely fine, Deku said. Provided Penny didn't catch him. Deku then wondered where she was. Why isn't Ijuku answering his scroll? I'm starting to get worried. I shouldn't have run off like that. Ijuku is really stronger, but I should ask around. Excuse me, sir, Penny asked. And what do you want, the mob boss asked. Sorry to bother you, but I was wondering if you had seen a boy around my height with green hair and wearing a green jumpsuit, Penny asked. With red trims and white gauntlets with bulk wrist things, the mob boss asked. Oh. Indeed. He's a student from Beacon. Have you seen him, Penny asked. You his friend, the mob boss asked. Yes, but we've gotten separated. Can you tell me where you've seen him, lads, Penny asked. Oh, I'll do you one better. Let me help you find him, the mob boss said. You would? Thank you, good sir, Penny said. Back with Deku and Mint. Huh. That was sudden. They all suddenly up and left. Maybe the guy got tired, or something came up on their end, Deku typed. Who knows? But, to be safe, maybe we should stay hidden together a little more, Mint typed. No need for that any longer. The path to the police station is clear, Deku typed. Yeah, Mint thought. Come on, we're safe now, Deku said. Mint and Deku then walked to the police station. Here we are. I know you probably aren't on good terms with the police, but this is the safest place for you until Troquick comes back, Deku said. Huff. I guess, Mint typed. Why are you still talking using a scroll, Deku asked. Because it's fun, Mint typed. Hey. Maybe a little bit. Anyway, I should probably let my friend know where I am, Deku said. Deku had turned his scroll on silent whilst hiding. He hoped she didn't get too worried. Deku saw that he had missed a bunch of calls, in fact she was calling him right now. Sorry, I have to take this. Just 1 second. Penny, I'm so sorry, Deku said. We have the red-haired girl, the mob boss said. Who is this, Deku asked. Who do you think, punk? I'll make you regret that day you crossed me, the mob boss said. Wait, you're the guy from before. You captured Penny, Deku asked. What, don't believe me? Say hi, girl, the mob boss said. Hi, Izuku, Penny said. Fine. What do you want? Deku asked. We're going to send you a location. Come along, bring the girl you snatched and none of your fancy aura tricks, Mr. Beacon student, the mob boss said. Wouldn't it make more sense to just tell him where he is so I can go to him? The Emerald Forest is a terrible place for a meeting, even on the outskirts, Penny said. Girl, I'm the expert here. A place for an exchange has to be hidden and creepy. Let me do my job, the mob boss said. Oh. Okay, mister. See you there, Izuku, Penny said. Listen, I have to go deal with those guys. Go to the police, they'll be able to help you, Deku said. What? But they say they wanted me to be there as well. I should stick with you, Mint typed. I appreciate the offer, Mint, but I can't risk your life over this, after going through all that trouble to keep you safe, too. Also, from what I heard over the scroll, she's not any real danger, Deku said. Still, Mint typed. We'll be alright, Mint. Thanks, and good luck, Deku said. Deku then left for the Emerald Forest. Oh no, you did not just ditch me like this, Mr. Mint thought. In the Emerald Forest. So, I don't think it's a good long-term form of employment. You should start looking into something that allows you to make actual, legal, non-suspicious savings, Penny said. Yeah, I think about quitting a lot, but it's more about the style than the money, you know. You fall into habits, and a thug said. For the last time, stop getting friendly with the hostage, the mob boss said. Oh, sorry, boss. But she's just so easy to get along with, the thug said. Oh, I don't mind at all, Mr. Penny said. It's not a problem of minding or not. We kidnapped you, you're our bargaining chip. Not someone to get friendly with, the mob boss said. You kidnapped me? Penny asked. Duh. Are you really that slow? The mob boss asked. Now that I think about it, you don't seem very nice, Penny said. Girl, you're a riot, the crime boss laughed. Deku then came out into the clearing. I'm here, Deku said. Finally, the mob boss said. Oh, hi, Izuku, Penny said. I have you right where I want you, now. Stay where you are or... Wait a minute, where's my girl? The mob boss asked. The police station, you sicko, Deku said. The fuck? I told you to bring her along, the mob boss shouted. I'm sorry, Izuku. I've only just noticed I was a victim of kidnapping, Penny said. Don't worry, it's fine. I'm glad you're okay, Deku said. Oh, Izuku, Penny said. Whatever. I can track her down later. Now surrender, boy, the mob boss said. Yeah, how about no, Deku said. What? Don't you care what happens to her? The mob boss asked. Wow, man, come on. She's such a nice girl and she's your friend. That's cold, the thug said. Thanks, Mr. Thug, Sir, Penny said. Guys. Come on. Think about it. Before asking a student from Beacon to come to a secluded place for a hostage exchange, did you bother asking Penny where I know her from? Deku asked. I'm from his team, Penny said. The mob boss said. So? She's a student, too, the thug asked. Yes, Deku said. And? She knows how to use aura, the mob boss asked. Affirmative, Penny said. Well, fuck, the mob boss said. Yeah. So we're going home now, and you should probably turn yourself in or some, Deku said. Mint then came charging into the clearing and kicked Deku. What, the Deku said. Oh my, Penny said. The girl, the mob boss asked. How? What are you doing here, Mint? It's too dangerous, to Deku said. Mint then shattered, and now Neo was stood before him. Deku said. Any, Penny said. Neo, the mob boss said. Neapolitan, the thugs yelled. That'll teach you to ditch me like that, you dick, Neo typed. Oh no no no, the mob boss said. It was you all along, Deku asked. It's been a long. Well, actually, we were never really introduced. I'm Penny, Penny said. Yeah, whatever. How can you leave such a cute girl in need of assistance alone, Neo typed. Shit shit shit. Torchwick noticed. Torchwick noticed, the mob boss yelled. I left you at a police station. How in the actual? Wait, Torchwick is the guy you got the information about Weather from, isn't he? He's your boss, Deku yelled. Well, duh. I told you earlier what my relationship with him was, Neo typed. We got to go. Right now, the mob boss yelled. Yes, boss, the thug said. You were faking being an entirely different person. How am I supposed to believe? And stop with the scroll, I can understand you just fine without it, Deku shouted. You can, Penny asked. I ditched you at the police station because I thought you were a meek, soft, scared gittle. But there's nothing meek or soft about you, is there, Deku asked. Neo smiled. That wasn't supposed to be a compliment, Deku yelled. Goodness, you can carry out a full conversation with her through body language alone. You've become such good friends in such a short time, haven't you, Penny asked. No, we haven't, Deku shouted. Mr. Student, sir, the thug said. And what are you still doing here, Deku asked. Deku. That's not very nice, they are good people, Penny said. Sorry, I'm running high on emotions. But they did kidnap you. Or tried to at least, Deku said. Never mind that. We have a thug said. There was then a raw form Beowulfs that had circled around them. Small problem, the thug said. We were throwing around a lot of negativity, I guess, Penny said. Typical. And why am I not surprised you're looking forward to this, Deku asked. Neo laughed. I don't wanna die, the thug screamed. No such risk. Deku, I will be on defensive duty for Autoralis guests. Could I ask you and Neo to be the front line, Penny asked. All right. Come along, you pest. Just so you know. I'm still peeved. Would it have killed you to just ask me to spend time together like a normal person would, Deku asked. More fun. For you, maybe. Okay, maybe I'm also angry I couldn't see it until you revealed it. If that's your semblance, it's very useful. Today's been totally crazy. But I guess I should expect that by now, when you're involved. Anyway. More about that later. Don't you dare hold back, now, Deku said. Deku and Neo then worked together to eradicate the Grim. Shit. Shit, that kid actually saved my life, didn't he? If Neapolitane was after me, it means Torchwick noticed I've been selling some of the supplies. I've got to skip town, grab my shit and never, the mob boss said. The mob boss was then shot. If you want something done right. Etc. Roman sighed. After eradicating the Grim, Deku, Neo, Penny and the thugs returned to Vale. Thanks, Penny. We'll be in touch, the thug said. Be safe, everyone. Have a pleasant tomorrow, Penny said. I'm glad so see that they are turning their lives around, Deku said. Yes, I suppose a close encounter with Neo and a bunch of Grim in the same evening will make you rethink your life choices, Penny said. Neo laughed. I'll go reserve the seats for the last bullhead before they close for the night. Thanks for your help, Neapolitan. Good night, Penny said. Deku pulled Penny in for a kiss. Try not to get kidnapped again, Deku said. I'll be more aware of others' intentions, Penny said. Penny then left for the bullhead. Yeah, she's a nice gentle girl and I love her dearly. Total opposite to someone else I know. Yeah, I know. Just because you like it, doesn't mean it's your thing. And speaking of which, I don't think you should do this kind of stuff anymore, Deku said. Neo pouted. I know that you were really never in danger, But that's not what I meant. I don't want you to be a criminal anymore. I want to know that you won't be in any actual danger. I don't mean turn yourself in, just like I off into the sunset and never be seen again, and with your semblance, you could easily do so, Deku said. Neo's face fell. Guess it's not that easy, Deku said. Neo smiled. If you ever change your mind, I'll always be here to help you. I have to go now. Good night, Neo, Deku said. Deku then patted Neo on the head and then left. So, jealous of the ginger, Roman asked. Neo then kicked Roman multiple times. End of chapter 39.